All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome. I am so happy to have all of y'all here today, wherever you're joining us, whether you're on Zoom, whether you're on YouTube. This is the Youth Speaks Brave New Futures opening and National Youth Open Mic of 2022, which is crazy. It is 2022, and Youth Speaks has been doing this for 26 years, since 1996. We have been facilitating spaces, hosting open mics for young people to come and use their voices for that entire time. And that is literally how old I am. I was born in 1996, y'all. It was like very succinct, feels very important. I do things. I'm excited to hear these young people spit some powerful poetry and become a student all over again. So I'm ready, but are y'all ready? That's the real question. If y'all are feeling ready, please drop the ones in the chat, the twos in the chat. Drop some emojis in the chat, some exclamation points, however you want to show me that you are ready and that you are down to hear some good poetry. Sound off. And I encourage you all. Yes. Okay, amazing. We see the exclamation points. We see the yeses. Awesome. YouTube folks do the same thing, okay? And I want y'all to keep that energy for every single poet that touches the stage tonight. So before we get into it, I just want to let y'all know some general ground rules for the poets that are going to be on stage. Y'all can give trigger warnings at the beginning of your poem if you would like to. You can also ask our lovely MC, who I'm going to pass it to in just a moment, to give those content trigger warnings if you would like. And then anybody in the audience, we acknowledge that the words of young folks are powerful. We know that poets that get on the mic and speak their truth sometimes can say things that might physically or emotionally activate us. So I just want to encourage you as an audience member, one, to be present for these poems and to give these poets all the energy and the love that you can as they perform, but also take care of yourself, all right? So if you're feeling something and you're reliving some sort of event that you need to take yourself out of the space, please understand that it's totally okay. We can also put you in a breakout room, poets, for the poets in the space, if you need a space to decompress. So yeah, logistics out of the way. Just wanted to let y'all know how this is gonna go. Poets, you have 5 minutes on the mic, and we're really, really excited to get to hear you. Before we get it cracking though, I want to tell you how we can show love. So besides doing exclamation points, besides putting yes in the chat, you can also repeat lines that you hear, right? Let the poets know in case anybody missed something. Let everybody know. You need to hear that line again, okay? Did you see that writing? Did you hear that writing? Y'all can also unmute your mics and say yes. You can say you can give us the snaps. That is totally okay. There is no wrong way to show love to these poets. So with that in mind, I'm going to pass it over to our lovely MC for the evening to let y'all know what our order is going to look like and get y'all ready for this open mic. So Gabby, I pass it to you.
All right. Hey, everybody. My name is Gabby Elvessie. It's real old, real country, just like me. I am from lovely Dallas, Texas. I work with Dallas Youth Poets and Young DFW Writers. We host open mics and workshops every third Saturday on Zoom and in person. So I'm your host this evening for this open mic. We have a really great list, a nice hefty list ready for you. So please get ready for all of the things. We are going to have our first poet up. I'm going to give it random. Let's go ahead and get Des as our first poet. And on deck, Stephanie. Sorry. No,
it's okay.
So that's fine. How about this? So let me give you a little background on me. I have been working with Dallas Youth Poets since I was a poet, going to Brave New Voices myself way back in 2016. And I have been working with poetry ever since. So we're gonna go ahead and give it one of our own Dallas Youth Poets to start off our show. Let's give it up for Reggie.
Hi. Can you guys hear me? Yeah. What? Okay. My name is Rudy Bora. I'm a senior now in high school, and I'm going to read a summer poem because it's summer and it's really hot outside, so I thought that would be fitting. Okay, my poem is called Summer Fruit. Mangoes taste like summer. The orange flesh is the same shade of warmth as 92 degrees on a Texas afternoon, and taking walks in the shade, getting your legs stung by invisible mosquitoes. Mangoes taste like summer. The softness of the fruit is the same softness of summer mornings, lazy rays of light shyly greeting me through my blinds and decorating my covers in stripes, weighing me down, telling me to sleep in a minute longer. Mangoes taste like summer. The stickiness of its juice is the same as the melting chocolate ice cream that drips down the side of its waffle cone and onto the tips of my fingers. Mangoes taste like summer. The smooth of its skin is the same as cool summer nights draped in dark blue, accompanied by gentle breezes that move my hair against my shoulders and daffodils against my ankles. Mangoes taste like summer. The seed is the last days of August, a souvenir of the fruit we savored, the days we spent biking through winding roads and sleeping on a bed of grass under a ceiling of stars. And when the time comes, I bring my mango seed back home, place it into a hole in the earth of my backyard, tuck it in with soil, glue it with water, and seal it with sun. And in 1 year, I will be back to meet my summer fruit once more. Thank you.
Y'all give it up for Radine in the chat. Okay, we have some lines here. What do we have? What do we have? Oh my goodness, you guys type so fast. Cool summer nights draped in dark blue. Okay. So let's go ahead and get a city call out. Where are you guys from? Drop it in the chat. Drop it in YouTube. I'm here looking for you and waiting. Where are y'all from? I think I saw somebody was from Portland. Somebody was from, we have Houston. We have, what else? California, Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia. Houston, okay, Nashville, Alaska, New York City. Okay, we're all over the country. We see you in the States and not, on the mainland and not. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with our next poet. Y'all give it up for Stephanie.
I didn't plan to share anything, but I guess I should anyway. Okay, 1 second.
That's okay. While you're going ahead and getting yourself situated, we'll go ahead and move on to our next poet. Can we get on the mic? On the mic, on the screen, let's see your video, let's get your poem. And on deck, we will have Ariana.
Hi. Sorry, my voice is a little rough. I just tested positive for COVID. My brother and I have been drifting for years. Upon my mother asking how he is, I say, I don't know. Do you think we talk to each other? He's going to college next year and I don't know what his favorite color is. We don't follow each other on social media. I blocked him on my Twitter even though my father follows me there. We bicker constantly. My dad is sick of it. It gives my mother migraines. It breaks my grandma's heart. We cannot do activities if we are on the same team. A part of myself is angry at him and a part of myself is angry at me. Had I not been so resistant to help, my brother would not have asked me what day of the week it was for fear I was in shock from blood loss. My brother and I have our bonding moments, sure. We discuss the Grammys and different movies we saw, but we have never connected on a deeper level. I've always been so overbearing in my love for my family, so I suppose it startles them when I am not hugging my brother the same way I hug my cousins or parents. I used to steal from my brother. For a period of 3 years, whenever something of his went missing, it'd be in my room. I don't ever remember doing this. I suppose part of this is my fault for being so hungry for his attention. My friends' brothers threatened to maim anyone who hurts them. My brother questioned whether I was truly bullied. But he sat outside my room after my mother and I had a fight. He drove me to a protest because he knew it was important to me. He is my father's son, brilliance teeming behind pale skin waiting to be released. He is my mother's son, bite in his tongue and fire in his soul. My brother and I have been drifting, but maybe, one day, I will be able to hug him without fearing the sharp recoil of a brother who does not know his sibling.
That was beautiful.
Oh my goodness. So we have a couple of lines here that people just fell head over heels for. A part of myself is angry at him, and a part of myself is angry at me. Come on now. Got a couple more, y'all. Oh, brilliant teaming behind pale skin. Okay. But we like it when it's personal. Do you know why? Because personal is relatable, right? We all go through similar things on a similar scale, right? And when you get to hear other people's stories, that kind of reminds you that, like, you're not alone too. So next we have Ariana. On deck we will have McKenna. Go ahead, Ariana. Turn on your camera for us while you're.
Hi, everybody. My name is Ariana. I'm actually part of Metaphor Houston, but I'm traveling right now. Shout out to you guys. So I can't be with them in person, so I'm in a hotel room. So this is my poem, Buffalo. The heart of my home is my mother. But if my home were a heart, its main vein would be Buffalo Speedway, the road I've taken almost every day of my life. It's a straight shot down to school and back home. Before Houston was home, my grandparents lived in China. When my grandpa was little, he was left to work on a farm. The water buffalo terrified him. He had to ride the buffalo, care for it, feed it. What must it be like to touch something so powerful when you're still so young? Because Houston is home, in less than a year, I will be 18 and legally able to own a gun. What must it be like to touch something so powerful when you're still so young? When my grandparents were young, they made Texas our home. My mom was surprised at how cheap animal crackers were at American grocery stores. It made her so happy to have so much to eat. A supermarket was a privilege. In Buffalo, New York, a supermarket became a war zone. While life carried on, a white man-child live-streamed an act of racially motivated domestic terrorism. While grocers replaced items back on the shelf, the white gunman preached great replacement. While shoppers contemplated how inflation would affect their purchases, the white gunman and his inflated ego shot and killed 10 Black elders. Families like mine came to this country to find safety. So how is it that aisles look like more walls standing in the way? Nothing screams white supremacy more than silenced voices. In Buffalo, it was that easy to take lives, to hit a main vein. This is why our grandparents are terrified. How many more lives will it take to amend the Second Amendment? This country needs a safety. To be direct, straight shots burn. Lift your spirits. To lift your spirits, feel it in your stomach. Doesn't that hurt? That's heartburn. My heart burns. Bullets fired on Buffalo all the way, and it hits home. Thank you.
That was amazing. Lift your spirit to lift your spirit. Houston. Nothing screams white supremacy more than silenced voices. This country needs a safety. Aisles look more like walls. Come on. So, the next poet that we have, up is McKenna. And on deck, we have Ismini. Did I say that right? No, Ismini. I am so sorry. Okay. Also, everybody, I'm going to pick 5 words. Everybody drop a word in the comments, whatever word, any adjective, noun, predicate, I don't know, whatever your heart desires, weird words, words I can't pronounce, words I don't understand. Drop it in the comments and I will pick 5 words. And by the end of this open mic, y'all will hear a special little poem made out of those 5 words. Y'all feel me? Awesome. So, McKenna, go ahead and turn on your camera for us so we can hear you spit.
All right. I kind of don't want to go on after that. That was so good, but I will. All right. Can you hear me okay? All right. This is a poem that I wrote called Donation Box. Welcome to the donation box. But this isn't the place where you donate the old socks. This is the place where you donate your pain. I'm just here to keep you sane. It doesn't even cost a cent or two, at least to you. I'm just here to lend an ear. It's okay to shed tears here. She leaves feeling better about herself. He leaves knowing how to get better mental health. I try my best to fix their broken parts, as well as mend their broken hearts. This weight is slowly starting to crush me, but I hide it so no one else can see, because who else would carry their pain? No one else seems to care if the drama is driving, if others' lives are falling apart, or if the drama is driving you insane. So I carry their heartaches and all their tragic high school cliches. It's not as if I think in their minds, it's not like if I ever feel heartbreaks or have bad days. Gosh, I wish I could just dump this all on the side of the road. Just be done with it all and stop caring. But I can't. So I just let people keep sharing and hope it doesn't get me dead. There's no donation box for listeners either. So I'll just sit here with a smile and hope my friends don't notice for a while. So welcome to the donation box. I'm sorry I'm not smiling today. Oh yeah, I'm fine. Look at the time. Maybe I'll see you in the morning.
Okay, so I'm not that type of person that knows all literary terms, poems, and things and whatnot. I just know how to use them, okay? But when I say the levels to that piece right there, the levels, where you donate your pain line, no one seems to care if others' lives are falling apart, or if it drives you insane, bar, okay? Well, y'all are just coming through with everything. I love it. So I have picked one word so far that I've seen that stuck out to me, and it's Sagittarius. So word number 1 has been picked. I still need some more words. Keep coming with the words. And next on the mic, we have Ismini. And on deck, we have Shayla. So y'all go ahead and give them an applause and turn on your camera so we can hear you spit.
Hi, my name is Ismini, and this is my first time at an open mic, so we'll see how this goes. This is a poem I wrote. It's called The Sound of Silence. My sister is deaf. She is deaf. What does silence sound like? To strain and stretch your ear, but hear nothing. It scares me, the silence. Fear fills me to the brim, a salty tear storm spilling, splashing out in bouts of spray and washing away all the wonder. I wonder, what sounds sing in silence? The doctors say she's lucky. Only one ear, only one world of pain. It feels like an eternity. I feel like an eternity. This is eternity. Why her? We are two halves. Individuality. Twin sides of a coin. Twin sides. Twins. My sister wants a pink woodchuck on her hearing aid. She shrugs like it's no big deal, all jokes and avoiding, deaf-ish. I saw her crying in the bathtub, tears streaking her shaking form, shuddering breaths and tight fists. I wish I could, but I can't. Can't touch that deafening silence, that empty space where something once stood, could stand. Only the ground is rubble, concrete gravel in an empty parking lot. There is no standing, nothing to stand on. I want to scream, sharpen my voice like a double-edged sword till it's fierce enough to pierce, cry out above the quiet, be louder than the nothing, but there is no sound. There is no sound. Just frustration and fear and silence. Thank you.
Okay. A salty tear storm washing away the wonder. Be louder than the, what was that? I can't recall. Guys, you guys are so amazing. I'm getting so inspired. Okay, so Sagittarius, right? Defenstration. Took me a while to say it, but we're here. Defenstration, which means being thrown out of a window. New word, I love it. And let's pick a third word. You guys pick snow machine or lark. Okay, I want to see it in the comments. Snow machine, lark. Awesome. So next on the mic we have Shayla. On deck is Tan. Y'all go ahead. Shayla, go ahead and turn your camera on so we can hear you spit.
Hey everyone, my name's Shayla. I'm from Portland, Oregon, and this is my second year of Brave New Voices, so I'm really excited to do it again. The poem that I have for you guys today is called Keep the Peace, and just a content warning, there is some mentions of sexual assault. So, all right. The best way to go about issues is always keeping the peace. Urge to sign an infinite lease, we agree to stay compliant and meek. And if we have any complaints that we have the urge to speak, it is permitted, but after the matter, please just keep the peace. Let the problems seep into your skin like the sweat that dries after your nerves kick. The nerves that kick and scream inside when they see pride from the people who don't deserve to stride in life and thrive. If keeping the peace is bringing us peace inside, why do I see confirmed rapists cheering for their team on the sidelines? They sit in their classes, on the bus, and even outside with their friends, crying with laughter like the tears their victims shed. Tears that shed with the skin they sand off in the shower, skin that was tainted by grimy, remorseless fingers, fingers that only care about having their asses saved with shallow apologies and denial of the trauma engraved. But please, let us come together and keep the peace. Sign the lease of peace. Don't let the victim speak. Don't let injustice batter down the oppressors of our future, because if there's justice, there'll be no more juicy news features. If keeping the peace brings us restful sleep, then why is it still fine to not draw the line on the shit people seed from their gritty teeth? These words seem comedic, but for most they're met with death, because in this world, keeping the peace is keeping your life. But this moment of silence is over. Now it is time to shed light on what keeping the peace really fucking means. We have the mic now, and this is how we're feeling. We are tired of being forced to make peace with hostility. We are tired of officials keeping us on the edge of our seats. We are tired of having to keep our identities discreet. I tear up the lease and say, fuck keeping the peace, because the best way to go about bringing peace is by letting us scream. Urge to shred the infinite lease, we agree to not be small and defeated. And if you have any complaints that you have the urge to speak, we ask you, if bigots never needed to be peaceful, then why do we? Thank you.
I'm sorry, I had to unmute for that one. Yes! Yes! Okay, I'm done. I'm sorry, I had to unmute for that one. My bad. As y'all were.
If there was justice, there would be no more juicy news features. Okay, look, we got like 3 people said that line right there. In this world, keeping the peace is keeping your life, period. Listen, responses, yes, I love it. I want y'all to know I'm going back and forth. I'm trying to check responses on YouTube. Trying to check responses in here. We're making it pop, people. I love it. I love it. Okay, so far we have Sagittarius, Defenstration, and Lark. There's 3 words. We got 2 more words, you guys. Try to make it outrageous. Give us the challenge here. All right, next on the mic we have I don't think I said it, who was on the mic next. Next on the mic, we have Carlynn, and on deck, we have Stephanie. Carlynn, go ahead and turn your camera on so we can hear you spit.
Hi, I'm Carlynn. I'm on the Metaphor Houston team. Hi, I'm Carlynn. I'm on the Metaphor Houston team.
Come on.
Okay, Mike, work. What do we see you? Bring it down a little more so we can see your face in the camera. But I know it's standard, but yeah, we want to see your face.
Oh, it's not.
Yeah. No, you're back down. You had it right there. All right.
To all the boys who have ever molded my intelligence into a question mark, craft my confidence with a conjunction, you can't let me feel myself without interjecting your empty compliments, getting full off your sentence fragments of weightless opinions, only to regurgitate leftover lies that the world revolves around me. Like when the words leap from your lips claiming I'm full of myself, and I was too cocky. You're right, I was full of myself. Full of excuses. I second-guessed myself with a list of reasons always ending in ellipses why I shouldn't name drop every punk who made me think I was less than human. After a lot of held back rebuttals for not being enough, I became the conclusion you make the world revolve around me because the gravitational pull of the fallacies you speak are too strong. I can't be too cocky when all I'm doing is standing up for myself, and I'll never be a bitch to pipe down when a boy decides this girl ain't worth listening to. What made you mad? I got more big dick energy than you because no, I won't give you the satisfaction of hearing the words, I'm sorry, fall out of my mouth. All you do is play a character of false bravado. Yes, I am the playwright and you've been waiting to pay attention. So sit down, little boy, with your back straight, shoulders back, eyes focused, and I'll put this in layman's terms for you. Cocky and me do not fit in the same category just because a dominant woman has you comma spicing your manhood. You play with girls' minds to the point of weaponizing their praise and competence. My mock confidence comes from more than I can say. Trust me, I have tried, but my mouth has the tendency to run dry when I try to say I am proud of what I have done. Too many times I've been shot down by people I trusted. My hope, that thing had its feathers stripped and wings clipped by the words "you're doing too much." It is not my fault you are used to less. Your opinion of me is useless while I'm fighting the urge to give up on myself. Don't you know girls have the same dreams as you? But ours get constructive criticism, countless edits and revisions by little boys for them to copy and paste who they want us to be. And we get told, it just seems they like you. As if being made the punchline of a joke has a girl ready to hand over her affection. They don't like the way defiance spells out disrespect in their eyes, and they don't like when they have to make their impregnable minds closed off to all things feminine, become malleable to wrap around ideas that are just too big for them. But these carefully crafted proclamations, I set this page to a blaze and will burn away every remnant of your preconceived judgment on what it means to be a girl. I am not a dependent clause, but my intellect is preceded by, in spite of being a woman. I am smart because I am a woman, sharp-minded and sure of herself. The answer to the question you seek has always been me. Do not confuse my confidence for cocky. I am a fierce woman with a fucking exclamation point. Woo. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna go ahead and remix the order a little bit. We got people that gotta make some moves, okay? So next to the stage, before they have to go, we have Tom.
Okay, can you guys hear me? Okay, so some trigger warnings. This poem has some mentions upon sexual assault, childhood trauma, and abuse. So, yeah, okay. And it's called Self-Portrait as a Fragmented Poem of Nothingness. Mourning to face men who will drag you closer in proximity to their pubic hand, because what could pain be other than the not to new orgasms? Untouched violence is an anesthetic to become one's dry out tongue. And tonight I walk into the reverie and come by the man who I love. His hands a shovel overlaying me in punches. For once I'm let known I deserve something else than dirt. My cheeks daunted like rose in bloom as a relief fall. He finally looks at me, even if it was with contempt. Whew. Climbing into the body, mind or yours, I don't know, mistaking it as a bomb bunker in miniature. A primary student learning how hands can be mouthed into urinary tract infections, premature uterus, stolen as of gemstones, clutched in an if-only pocket. Now exile, long enough to believe how oneself can be imprisoned into munitions. I scratch fingernails against the wall until the tassels burst backwards, open, to see if there is anything I can be other than being a museum of barbed wire memories. But I promise I do have something to offer you. You just don't know it yet, or perhaps it just doesn't matter. For I already square, however, nothing, but it can move in conjunction with the flap wings of turds, to be anything you've wanted. I'm sorry I'm pronouncing a name like spilling a gust from the gaps of tea. I did not know one could have the silhouettes of men growing in the body. But what else could one do but to be told to highly eulogized fingers, unspooling the clips like diffusing bombs? You said I could have turned a name into an opposite after all these times, but you don't know the only things I can remember are lessons in grade 4 where he touched bleed, rooms would bleed, heats room with hit, just like the way a man would never miss the chance to grow a sapling into Cockshan's sheen. Thank you.
The power behind y'all's voices is incredible. Okay. The way a man will never miss the chance to grow. Okay, a museum of barbed wire memories. Okay, listen. Word number 4. I'm probably gonna have to Google this in between poems to figure out how to say it, but petrior. It means smell after rain, smell after dew. You know that dewy smell when the rain rains, right? Oh, here we go. Petrichor. Oh, I'm saying it right. Petrichor. Petrichor. Write that down. Petrichor. Awesome. Okay. If there's any people who would like to hit the open mic a second time, please go ahead and message me that now. That'd be awesome. Next on the mic we have Adriana. And on deck we have Jelani. So who did I say? Adriana, go ahead and turn your camera on.
Hello, can everyone hear me?
No, I can't hear you.
Oh, we're unmuted. Hello?
Hey, hey. Hey, go on the mic.
Yeah,
It's metaphor.
A little bit lower. Because I can't see my face. Really turn the thing down. Okay.
Got it.
You hear me?
Assume yes. Hey.
Okay. Trigger warning for mentions of gun violence.
All right, yeah, that should hear you.
It is written in black ink that this takes place in many shapes. Rectangular prism inserts school, market, or mall on a plane. Flat surface, untouched, and calm angles. I expect everything that will happen in the next 30-minute square. Doorways you will walk through for possibly the last time, because the moment you hear a gun, everything goes concave. Hollow cylinder, gun barrel, you can see your soul through it. Cube, the walls are closing in. Triangular prism, you're cornered. Cylinder, tunnel vision. Cylinder, my parents are probably screaming for me. Cylinder, shut it, Greg. Abbott didn't give me this warning. Cylinder, I didn't think about dying this morning. I asked the teacher, how will this be useful to us in real life? Because it is written in blood that this is the geometry of a mass shooting. Rectangular prisms, cubes, cylinders, the lines that make them up are lethal and systematic and repetitive. But this is taught in school. I learned all of the ins and outs of how to play dead in a classroom, all of the positions of figures, all the angles of limbs, all the volumes of solid barricades for the door, all angled paths of exit out the window. But from my angle of vision, all I can see is a consequence of a country that cannot protect its children from gun violence. It is written in platitudes of apathy that you cannot turn a tragedy into politics. You cannot shape a community into a scapegoat because sometimes this just happens. The rectangular prisms are sometimes too arbitrary. The plane is sometimes too calm. The squares are supposed to be enforced with good locks, and the angle of escape is never thought of in the shaping of the geometry of a mass shooting. I ask the teacher again, how is this useful to us in real life? Shall I worry each time a square is too small, or the obelisks guarding the entrance are not there, or the rectangular prism lateral area is too big, or wondering if each time I enter a school, market, or mall, I won't come out alive again? The teacher states, it is written in black ink that this curriculum is your best chance at surviving. Under the rectangle desktops, under the semicircle sun, under the kite souls used to fly up to heaven too soon, this is how you live. You run, you fight, you hide. You don't take away guns. You add them up and hope they cancel out. Then what am I meant to do if my angle of exit out of this world is to be a martyr to a cause our country is sick to protect the teacher states? Again, it is written in black ink that this is how you survive. Even if there are more children that have died of gun violence in America than any of the other countries, it is written in black ink that this simply just happens.
Woo! Woo!
Metaphor, y'all are really bringing the heat, okay? Next, okay, so let me give y'all the tea. Our 5 words will be Sagittarius, because I am one. Defenestration, which means being thrown out a window. Okay, because can hardly say it. Lark, because I had to double check the meaning. Petrichor, which means the smell after rain. Because who doesn't love the dew in the morning rain? Come on now. And indubitably, which I shouldn't have to explain. Just say it with me, indubitably. All right? It's so fun to say. It's so many so much mouth work. So much mouth work. Awesome. Oh. Poets, if you're trying to hit the mic a second time, let me know. Okay, let me know. We have next on the mic, we have Jaylani. And on deck, we have Micah. All right, Jelani, turn your camera on so we can hear you spit.
Hello. There were trigger warning. There were brief mentions of violence, drugs, and sexual assault. Hey, you over there, I have something you should hear. You can have a life where nobody is your peer. A lionized size, a cyan price devised, hionized synecdoches of deities, reflecticities, amenities, demiurge extremities, you have the urge, I know you do. No similes can freeze the frame and capture you. Stacking choirs, racking squires, riors tapping the brackets, fires ending in pyres, and shires bending to practice. Picture you know you're between the paranoia of fiends and thee. Paranoia reads and reads, dianoia of kings to the lead. An oasis of an oasis mirage within the sand. A cratio cracking rocks that erase you from hand to hand. To try to test you, a testament to the dark abyss. You can testify the parts with this, edify the artifice, and orifice and edifice, the parts to pit, the secularists in war with this, and parts to shift the evidence that's stored and sifts through hordes of directionless sections it, or force and myth, the cost of life, a cost of strife, the loss of heart, it starts with this. Falsify the parts of this, artify, get high in bliss. Perfectionists get vexed, defy the laws, erect the stones. Reflections prone to miss. Reverence gets honed on the throne. Severance to home, now alone. Through the chrome like alone, men blue get red like the decalogue, and epilogue in every day. The levy raised a little more. The diddle tells some middle poor. Person some man, know some then, hustle man. Rat sing like we hustle sand. Crack kings forced to sand. Crack kings forced to sand. We force a friend, disperse and bust from man. They look of us, reimburse the first of friend. It hurts it worse, but hustle ends. The metal muscled usher sand, a rush apparel. Ghetto fells, lush again. Such a ring could hush a grin, blow you must rinse. A husk of such could sucker much of stuff you tan. So pucker up and kiss pretend. Your destiny arrested in limerence for the glimmer, hence your best agenda. The guns are good addendum, aim and annihilate. The petriger of your reign, the serendipity of fate. It's in your hands, just grasp it all before you're late. I'm an edgeless. The edge of past peddling can never humor me. But in human this, the funerals amusing me. Your hammered on bawdry is hardly a gallimaufry. You can discard the glamour, the foul hollows tawdry. Your grandiose prose just opposes my conviction, and predictions of my providence perturbs my depiction. I don't desire dirty diamonds or to dance with the devil. I deem that my demise doesn't demand to be disheveled. The efforts to a feat, to effervescent for effect. Maybe that works on them, but for me, you can't project conditions of a struggle and expect me to say yes. You're killing reckless boys with the dress above this mess. You're raping little girls with the garnish of the stress. You harness all the violence and embellish all the sex, just to tarnish all the vibrance and relish in the excess. To perpetuate a prison, you decorate all the chains, effectuate all the visions, and castigate every brain. Do any of you have shame? Do any contain the blame? You isolate, emasculate, emasculate, inaugurate a candidate that suffocates the populate and postulates a hostile fate, that allocates artillery into our states and circulates and aggravates our mental state, regenerates a burning hate that culminates in decimation, desecration of our nation, no formation, presentations, operation, separation. Why don't you sell me some reparations? That's it.
First of all, anybody that can rhyme, I'd be jealous. I'm like so jealous of, because
bars.
Me rhyming is like rhyming with orange every single line. I'm like, cat, orange. No, it doesn't work. Seriously. Look, well, let me get some. No smiles could freeze the frame and capture you. Why don't you sell me some reparations? Okay. Let me get it. Everybody's hitting this rhyme scheme is crazy. There's no way this can be no, that was that last poem. Crazy. Awesome.
All right.
So next on our mic is Micah. And that can be Baby. So y'all go ahead and turn your camera on so we can hear you spit.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? We all love a bad boy anthem. A production introduction that has a mischievous melody because bad boys have the best bops. When it comes to cops, we all know their theme song. All they produce are bangers. This next episode is going to be killer. All it needs is a trigger warning to tell us the bad guy got away. I already know his character description, matching that of a villain. He sharpens his teeth with a razor blade just to prove he got more guts than guns. Walking his chest out because ain't nobody gonna kill a white boy with a gun. Clamps on his tongue, he speaks his daggers, let his hands lead his gate to grab and take what he thinks he's entitled to. Cue the music, add cinematic, but let's he prefer a song with more action. Quick and fragmented like bullet fragments. To view his victim's last words, add closed captions. This show is shot from his perspective. It's called Cops. Broadcasting on a body cam. No rehearsing for this once-in-a-lifetime appearance. The live audience on set anticipates the setup, waiting for the cops to confuse a prop for a gun. But even when he doesn't mess up, he has no problem with the reshoot. He's always ready for another round. He doesn't care how many takes it takes. He's gonna take one, take two, take three, take more lives, so he's satisfied, always ready to add another clip. In the academy for 6 months, so we don't have to tell him he's a star. The academy already does. His badge already does. The most committed method actor, convincing his extras to play dead. His leading role up into their tombstones. Names never reached the Hollywood pavements because they were shot by American shooting stars. Bad Boys have swept the nation. TV screens replaying another episode, a saga that never stops. Because the network never dares to cancel Cops, but won't be fun the next season. And if we need another reason to watch this antagonist in his supporting roles. The white supremacists painting the cameras to these series of murders and screaming out cues. Lights, cameras, here's our reparations. Corrupt politicians controlling the focus and how much visibility the murder scene receives. Man, lawmakers are dictating and directing the cops backstage to safety, while the unlucky soul caught at the wrong angle never makes their way back home, only getting casting calls to heaven. The credit card stands to be a body bag in the ambulance. Another stuntman slides stunted by the bullet of a gun. And we'll keep showing this again and again because we know it's a hit.
Woo!
Yo.
Yeah.
Okay, groupies, we see you. We loved it. I respect it. Okay. Talk about the way y'all use the space. If they don't do nothing, baby, y'all be choreographing the mess out of a poem, okay? It'd be so sharp, it'd be so precise, and I have seen it yet to falter, okay? So, shout out to them for that. Next on the mic, we have Bailey, and on deck, we have Brad. Bailey, go ahead and
Can you guys hear me okay? We all good? Hi, I'm Bailey. I'm a college student on the East Coast. I'm thrilled to be here. This is the first time I've performed for people since before the pandemic. I produced a research study on poetry and performance, so I'm very excited to be here. This poem is called Even the Universe Needs a Hug Sometimes. When I write, I think of a conversation between two characters I do not know from a book I have never read. I'll take care of you, the first one says. It's rotten work. The other rasps, their voice breaking just the slightest. Not to me, the other insists, not if it's you. I think of this because I'm trying to write my way into a world that does not feel like an inferno when I take a deep breath in and let the embers hiss out. When I was 13, I gave myself the title of a universe kind of girl in the first poem I had ever performed. Even at that age, I knew it. Knew how to connect the constellations in my freckles, how to spot the nebulas behind my eyes in the mirror. I was just learning how to wield the stardust in my words, how to carry galaxies on my shoulders. When I wrote back then, my poems echoed the unfamiliar sentiment my younger self had wanted to hear for so long. I'll take care of you. And then I fell in love for the very first time. And even though the boy did not like poems, yet did not seem to mind mine, squinted at the nebulas, plugged his ears when I got excited, then complained when I shrank to a whisper, I was just glad someone wanted to hold my hand. And while I could tell you about the months of no sleep, of constant tears, and friends on the other side of phone calls telling me to end it, of me holding the pieces together at night, cutting my hands on the shards of my heart, none of these will ever compare to the boy confirming what I had feared about leaving me. It was rotten work. I refused to write after he left for good, refused to give way to the words that had led my poems for months on end before for a boy who did not deserve them. Even with a million different landscapes to compare his eyes to, 1,000 things to explain his laugh and how it tickled the hair at the back of my neck, only for it all to amount to inkless pens and broken promises. If I had forgotten the entire English language, perhaps the pain would not be pain, if only because there would have been no word for it. I had come to know the vacuum that would suck the air out of my lungs, the words off of my tongue, and extinguish the light behind my eyes. And now, when I write, it is an effort not to turn every piece into an elegy for all the things I did not do. How I did not realize, did not recognize the void for what it was, the back of his throat pitch black, even as his laughter, distorted and rattling, rolled off his tongue and onto mine, overtaking my begging for him to stop punishing me for this, but also to never stop loving me. In spite of the taste of words left unwritten in the back of my throat and the tears welling underneath my eyes and the garbled groveling clashing against my clenched teeth as I simply went limp, the flames sputtering out, it is an effort not to atone for all that I did not burn to the ground. Engulfed and swallowed whole by the death of a star, I have long since learned to stop scorning myself for not watching my step, for falling so recklessly, for telling the stars about him, for begging to be loved. I have always known to give the universe kind of girl some grace, to give her the space to feel her solar flares and meteor showers, to be experienced and appreciated, to be everything and nothing all at once, to give her the space to exist and breathe something other than worry mingled with cinders, to feel like brave magic and not a fragile myth, because writing love poems for a girl who deserved so many of them so long ago doesn't feel like rotten work in the least. After all, it is the only way for me to tell her, not to me, not if it's you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being vulnerable with us and sharing that with us in this space. Next on do we have anybody else who wants to hop on this mic that that you know I don't have your name on the list? Or maybe you want to go again and I want to do it again. So message me. Awesome. So next on the mic we have Brett. And on deck we have Opal. Go ahead, Brett, turn on your camera so we can hear what you said. Uh-oh, did I miss something? They're not here. I don't think they're here. That's okay. Okay. Opal. Y'all give it up for Opal. Let me see you go crazy in the comments. Turn on your camera so we can hear what you're spitting.
All right. My name is Opal Oliver. I wasn't gonna perform this poem, and then politics happened. Whoops. Yeah, okay. A letter to my left arm. Ever since 2 weeks ago, you held an absence. I know nothing ever left you. More like I didn't know I could put something there. When they asked me where I wanted it to go, I knew exactly where not. You and I are two hands stuck out on a tightrope while eyes stay fixed ahead. Don't look down, don't look down, don't look down. This blood never hurt anyone, they said, and I believed them. Believed that this war had no other side. Your blood is your enemy, they told you, when you took a pocket knife to your flesh. I know you stung for a day afterwards. I know we agreed to hurt each other. It's a kind of love this way. You offer yourself a canvas, and I say, let's show them this is a battle, and it will turn out okay. I know you're excited to be a cyborg, or at least more so than to be a minefield. You get to hide away the secret weapon that will defeat with a sting of ibuprofen all of the don't look down, don't look down, don't look down. You know, as well as I do, that this isn't over, but we are far from the beginning. Letter to my left arm, part 2. 2 buses and a lot of heartbeats later, I am sitting on a squishy chair. The ones next to me are both turned sideways facing the wall. 6 feet apart is farther than you think. The sign on the wall reads, I wonder if I will ever be as tall as my father. I probably won't. I count how many people who come into the room are not women. 2. One is a father come with his baby and his wife. Something about a mountain lion incident, they are hurried inside. The other, a DoorDash driver. Mind you, I am in the right place. I just am not in the right place. I sit on thin paper that could be tracing paper, but if you were to trace me onto this paper, you wouldn't be able to because it would look like an earthquake. The seismograph lines would be too shaky. I am shaking. Don't look down, don't look down, don't look down becomes replaced with don't look up, don't look up, don't look up. Pasted on the walls is everything that is down, diagrams of parts I don't want or don't want to see, don't want to admit that I have. You and I are 2 arms on the balance beam, looking down, down, down to the soft trampoline at the bottom of the tightrope. She goes over risks. She goes over warnings, slips in a, this is what we use for many of our trans patients. I always wonder if they know. I'm not allowed to tell them who I am on the checkmark boxes. I don't bother telling them who I am when I don't need to, because their questions always come with fangs and malice in their mouths. What arm do you want it in, left or right? I take a moment and close my eyes and imagine I am some lusciously promiscuous gay man with a handkerchief he ties around his ankle or thigh or slips in a back pocket to tell viewing eyes which side he wants of tonight, whether he wears leather or not, ears or not, dresses or not. I open my eyes and remember I still have homework to do, so offer my left arm so that I can still write. It's just like a big bee sting, she says. And I remember the first time I got stung by a bee. Remember the first time I tripped, fell, scraped my leg and covered it up. Said, you are not a girl. Said, you will not tell anyone. Said, you will not cry. I am not a girl, and I did not cry. I almost did before, but then I remembered I've forgotten how. She tapes it over, and I remember how many times people have offered tape and offered elastic and said, I can take it away so you don't have to see. Said, I can cut you into pieces if that will make you happy. She wraps bandages around my arm, and I remember the songs I'd been listening to just before I came in. What the war did to my legs and to my tongue, what the war did to my arm is give me a bandage and a smile. And at least I reckon it a war now, one that doesn't have to be done, but I've fought this and I won. Thank you.
My goodness, y'all are really sharing some heavy things. Like, what I love about poetry is like it's giving us that space to heal, right? In the spirit of things, I'm gonna go ahead and top us off with another poem before we get into our second half, okay? If that's okay with you guys. Not our special poem that won't come into hand, but I might have something else in my pocket. So I'm gonna go ahead and spit something. This came out of my first year coaching and taking my own team to Brave New Voices in 2019. My kids ask me, how do I feel? They come to me, hands torn, heart shattered, pens ready to suture their scars. I explain, healing starts on the page, moves to the stage, and ends with yourself. I'm still learning to grasp that concept. See how I turn my demons powder so I can swallow them wholly. Trauma hurts less in a metaphor. Sickness doesn't sting in a simile. Slicing my palms to bleed onto paper makes my story more tangible. Spitting on a stage can make the grief stop. See me, still spitting poems, hurt, tired, pissed, angry, worthless, lost, invisible, still birthing movements to be excluded out of them, breaching my body for people who never deserved the taste of my blood on their skin, searching for serenity in the static of the microphone. I cannot teach my children to heal when I am so quick to pick my scabs. You can only reword scab before it turns scar, and a spotlight ain't skin cream. Hey, aloe vera away my history, like justice can occur in a coffee shop or a bookstore or a nightclub, like an audience can validate my experience, restore the last parts of me that are no longer poet and still human. So when my kids ask me how they can heal, tell them to write like you've been mute too long and it's time for them to hear you. Like ink is the only thing keeping your veins flowing, like it's the last thing you're leaving this world, because wars are only won with armies and them drafts be your soldier. Still all of yourself into a piece, knowing you have nothing left, find contentment in that. To know that a poem can't mend your mind, can't stop the tears from flooding, so bottle that shit. Sell it on Amazon. It must be gold the way they tripping over this. Scream with a heavy heart and cloudy head. Screaming stops the thinking. And if we cannot hear our own thoughts, they cannot make us miserable. Healing is a masochist game. It's breaking yourself over and over and over again so that this time your foundation will sit right. Throwing rocks at your tranquility for a good performance, then finding solace in the cut crimson stain left on your fingertips. It's gaslighting, all of the acrimony boiling in the back of my larynx, spitting out the acid to smile. It's doing the one thing I know how to do. Give my everything and leave nothing but myself. Know that I have a worth in that. It's fighting until you black out and your fists are swinging on their own. It's losing. Looking at all of the destruction, soaking in the stench of the turmoil, showing the world just scars, unafraid of opening them again. Thank you, guys. So, as we get headed into our second half, we're going to go ahead and get it up with the first poet in our second half. Give it up for Elijah. And on deck is Jelani. So, hit me up if you want to be in the second half. Elijah, go ahead and take your camera on so we can hear you speak.
All right, hold on one second. Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Yep, you're good.
All right. Hey, everybody. How y'all doing? Okay. This poem I'm going to read y'all, well, it's a little heavy, I'd say, in my opinion. I don't know, y'all decide for yourselves what y'all think about it, all right? It's called Too Much, Too Little, Too Late. I killed myself today. Yesterday, I prayed to high heaven to save me from my wrongs as if I was on trial in front of my sins and transgressions, looking every bit the pitiful soul I actually am. The day before that, I was demented, trapped in a cage amidst my own sorrows, pleading to me, when will they be free from this hell? Or will they be damned to this purgatory forever until their body withers and is no longer able to put up a fight? Sometimes I wonder that as well. The other previous day, I murdered my insecurities, feeling I didn't need them to guide my conflict, aiding and abetting the convict of my mind, the lines between sane and insane blurred beyond comprehension. The first day, I think to myself that sometimes it's better to see by closing my eyes. Faster to walk with no pain, easier to breathe while I'm not choking, to find myself in a void of lush grass and rolling hills as far as the eye can see, me walking in endless field to no end shall I ever come across any danger object to obstruct my path, yearning wantonly to estrange myself from society, from the rules that bind and cage us, from fast cars, beauty models, and cellular devices, to no longer be part of the equation, to not be a one but a zero, to end it all and not feel guilty for it. It's impossible for me to reconcile what divides me and makes me whole. How can I ever live with myself while I deconstruct the very foundations of my reality piece by little piece until there is nothing left? Bare naked to the world who I am and what I am here for. But maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. This is possibly too much to carry, or too little to grasp, or too late for me. That's it.
Okay. Is this possibly too much to carry or too little to grasp? I think myself sometimes it's better to see by closing my eyes. We love it. I love all the responses we're getting. Come on, active audience. We love it all. Okay, let's answer some basic questions, right? Let's do basic questions. 3. Skittles or M&Ms? Basic, right? Cream of wheat or oatmeal? Hell, I think you're gross if you eat either. Okay. And tennis shoes or slides? Okay. 3 basic questions. Let me see y'all's answers. All right. Next up on the mic, we have Jalil. Go ahead and turn your, Jalil. Jelani. Go ahead and turn your camera on so we can hear your speech.
This poem is Tell me you love me before I die. I remember the lifeless petals that scribbled onto the aisle. Sharp breeze, I was the leaves. Our faces were a false mirror, but in that show of veiled decadence, it was as if we were the same. Estranged from them all, I felt the weight of forever in a moment. Components of my downfall drowned all opponents. Incantations that turned my life to fiction. Consummations to recall the truth. White flames and red sheets. My eyes were glutted. Your eyes were fed. But your hands hold my body like a new harvest. Scorched and desertified, I was left deforested in the cell. The leaves fell. White hearts and red snow. We couldn't find a home, but we bought a house. Sleeping in the same room, awake at different times. I was your Persephone, puss lips, a seance between. Each sensual scene was a spurious spark. Living in hell and sleet, give again, failed to meet your curious marks. Yet you still held my corpse like a shrine. Mind away to the rock of my mind, the clock was blind. I waited with cold hands, burnt hands in a blizzard of love. Icicles soon hid in my eyes, flakes demise on your hide. In a wake of reflexive shivers, frozen in hell, the snow fell. At dawn, I was Lazarus. Levy poured in my glass at dusk. The rain poured throughout. Your wells made God cry. Staring down the sky with the wretched intent, I was bleaching my attic. You could only be reached in the basement, a place bent by pretense and desire. There glow in my palms, I gave my body as alms and reparations. Psalms of separation sung by my heart. The sun lingered. Each day I saw you break apart. The queen's horses and men couldn't put you back together again. The flower that you took apart began to blossom. Playing possum in that silver sail, I met more members light like me, and we shared chains. There were days when I couldn't return. I savored the burn and favored the scent of roses, days of wines and roses with each nostis. I further swam in the river, tore a throat and scooped sniffs. When nobody was watching, the rain fell. The light burned our skin, so we stepped in the shadows. The sun just increased the shade. You looked at me like a relic I didn't understand. Over time, your hand stopped tilling land. What were the fruits of your labor became a raisin in the sun. I fused with the floor, your tracks on me. I melded with the mirror, your cracks in me. Veiled with a lack of ego, I was everything, but I still felt like nothing. Hot showers for disguise, my eyes were murky. One day I saw your eyes and I was surprised that they were still alight. Cold air couldn't simmer the dark days of your life. Nights in shining Gomorrah couldn't save me. With each day, we got a little more gray. With each step, I got a little more stuck in my ways. But you fail. Deathless flowers at your bedside. No man is an idol. You are the leaves. A scapegoat separated from the sheep in my mind. I squeeze your hoof. No longer blind, the clock snickers. Death anticipates with cold hands. Your eschaton is strange from them all but me. The weight of never felt in your downfall. I pray your slumber awakens me. White blood and red sheets. My body's an altar for your final harvest. It's when I'm used that I know who I am. Tell me you love me before I die. Our smiles a false reflection. Your pale complexion of veiled and decay. I remember the passing of the seasons, seasoned through the passing of memories. Trying to recall words to season your passing, I fail. And that's it.
Woo! Thank you so much, Jelani, for coming in and blessing us again on the mic for a second time. Awesome. So the next poet on the mic is Lee. Are you ready? You ready? Awesome. So the next poet on the mic is Lee, and on deck is Elijah. Go ahead, Lee. Turn on your camera so we can hear your speech.
Thank you so much, Gabby. Y'all, I feel so blessed to be here. Y'all have been just inspiring me and like amazing. The writing has been amazing. The performance has been amazing. Overall amazing. This is a really short poem, and I tried to write a bad poem. So this is called Bad Sonnet. And what would be a waste of a poem? That is the only question I'll ask in this poem. And this is the only time I'll say Black in this poem. Black. And do you count that twice? And do you count the question? And at what point is a mistake a lie? I am afraid of nothing except nothing. Perhaps I do not want power as much as I have wanted love and to have loved. With my birthday candles, I used to wish that no one would figure out my wishes, and I want this poem to be a wish like that. I want whole lines just asking the reader if they've ever been me, Aaliyah Shea Bradshaw. And if a question is still a question when you know the answer is no, when you're just speaking to hear yourself say the thing, when you're just wishing to wish. And could that too be called a waste of breath? Thank you.
Thank you, Lee, so much for blessing us with your work. We appreciate you. All right, people. We are whittling down toward the end of our open mic. Metaphor. If y'all want to bless us one last time, that would be super dope. Y'all let me know. Okay. Y'all give it up for the mic for a second time. Give it up for Elijah. Turn your camera on so we can hear you.
Hello again. All right, yeah. First and foremost, I just gotta say, y'all are freaking amazing. All right, like, gosh dang, back when I was doing poetry in the Sites Club back in Ranchview, never heard stuff like this before. Every time it's something new and amazing, and it's just refreshing. It rejuvenates my soul in a sense, I guess. I love it. I love what y'all are doing. All right, this one's kind of a long one. It's called "Hate to Love It." Look, I don't know what I'm doing, but I hate to love it when I know what I'm doing ain't part of the regular scheduled TV program that you're used to viewing. I'm saying that I'm done screwing around with a bunch of fake clowns that love to see you losing. I'm done with the clueless illusions that I've came up with, the conclusion to hate all of my actions, the inaction of making an impact, you lacking a sense of contact with what was familiar. Well, I hate to break it to you, but that ain't what's for dinner. So I'll make sure to feed you what's really important, and maybe some reality for filler, in hopes that you go off better than these streets do. Because I'm tired of seeing my people lose the insight to the side of a bullet over some money, or turning dopey-eyed off of some drugs, or getting caught up in the streets to go spend the night with somebody you don't know. I've seen enough too many people lose their sense of self. So I'm talking to you directly and direct on my cellular to give you a clearer picture of what's really ahead of you. Because in this world, you don't really know what's coming till it's already in front of you. So I'm hoping that night you stay safe and tucked in, just so you might dream something profound and wake up well rested. On a side note, let's talk about money. So I know you hate to love it when the root of all evil keeps you above the poverty line, but what about when it leaves you, feeling empty in your wallet, lost in your payments, hurt in your credit? Was it worth it? All those hours in the 9-to-5 time you can't get back because of a dime turns you sour, as if a lime and $100 bill had a baby and turned into your boss, and the cost was several years working you to the bone. In the end, you'll be all alone chasing it. Drugs. I know you hate to love it when your heart and your wallet end up broke, though it's only temporary. I see you still blowing that smoke, wasting your life and your time and your money on stuff that only make you choke. It's time to change up your habits, my brother. You're walking a tightrope, digging a moat, stuck in a boat. You can't even float because you forgot how to swim, forgot how to live without a syringe or some ganja in your emotes. I feel your pain, whether it's medical or recreational, but the stuff is all the same. Sex. I'm saying you hate to love it, but you just can't let it go. You're spending that cash, but I see you getting low. No need for these shameful actions and bashful transactions. Just live life how it's meant to be. No need to go fast. I'm just here to ask you to take better care of yourself. I'm not trying to be crass. I'm just worried about your health, because you're shaking that ass and worried about your wealth. You should take a better look at yourself in the mirror and decide, and I hope you realize that you are better, can do better, and are better. I hope that one day these words reach somebody that really need them, and I'm going to pray that when they hear it, they really feel them. Because too many people these days caught up in one of these schisms. I look forward to seeing you come up out of the system. You feel me? That's it.
Elijah, thank you so much for blessing us on the mic 2 times. You amazing. So you went to Ranchview?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my goodness. Was Miss
Miss Bush,
what do they
yes.
call you? What do they call you?
What?
What do they call you? Bush. Miss Bush, was she one of your teachers?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, look at you. That's amazing. Yes, you can, Jelani.
My favorite teacher.
So next up on the mic is McKenna. And that is Jelani. Y'all give it up for McKenna. Go crazy in the comments.
All right. So this is a poem that I wrote called Happy Anniversary. Happy anniversary! That's probably not the right thing to say. I don't know what is. All I know is it's been 6 months since, you know. I know we don't hang out like we used to, but hear me out. If I'm being honest, I miss your kisses. I can't look at the roses without seeing the beautiful color that you left on my skin. You were the only one I ever let in. When the world got too much, I would hold you, and it felt as though you held me. You were all that I needed you to be. You embraced my love of long sleeve and hoodies. You made me almost feel like myself. Never once made me share anything. But you knew all my so-called secrets, didn't you? So I'd like to say thank you for being the first one on my side. You saw all the parts of me I tried so hard to hide. I say I hate you though, but we know I never fully could. And even if I want to, never fully would. Even if I want to, I don't think I ever could. Those who don't know you hated our relationship, wanting me to burn my bonds with you, saying that you will only hurt me as if that wasn't why I loved you, and they say that you're no good for me. Well, okay, I guess that part is true. I know you're toxic and harmful, but I can't help but long for your grounding touch, and the way you made me feel amazing one moment, the next left me hating myself. You're the ones who get you say you like a bad tattoo. You do it once and it's always with you. And yeah, sure, you may go away for a little while, but you come back. You always do. So I hate that I miss how we used to be, how your kisses left the cherry-colored stains on my skin for weeks. I hate that you were like a savior to me. I hate that when I see you, I can't hate you, even though I so desperately want to. So I don't hate you. I hate what you've done to me. I hate that I miss you. I hate that your touch made my mother shove me away, as if she didn't want me to stay. I hate going to the temples with obvious marks from your touch. Even though I followed the rules and were all white, it just never felt right. And though it felt as though I was God's defective daughter, like a perfect human being's only mistake. You helped me achieve my dream at the time, though. So thank you. I remember I wanted to soar. I did not want to be sad anymore. I waited for a response on the other line, but the only voice I heard was mine. But why would you respond? You're just a pair of purple scissors. The pair of purple scissors I used to try and kill myself.
Y'all are so amazing. Before I have Jelani go up another time, I'm going to go ahead and give y'all one last poem from me before y'all get your 5-word poem. Is that okay? Y'all feeling that? Y'all feeling that? Cool? Awesome. Awesome. So I will go next, and then we will have Brandon next, and then on deck will be Jelani. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, back home, when shit gets too real, we don't run. We don't raise fists and rally. There's nowhere to go. We hide. We young liberals have conservative schools and bigot parents take body shots from racism, but still manage to come out a living in my South. No protest will be held for us. We know the stench, sting, and burn of white sheets over whiter faces in the ring of Uncle Tom's consent long before national news got to it. Have you ever heard the word nigger line dance down a Confederate flag tongue? Fly off the front porch of a pearly face, shimmy its way through picket fence of white seats. Have you heard its feet shuffle whimsically in your direction? Welcome to the South, nigger. This is Southern comfort, that Southern hospitality, that sweet tea with a side of misogyny, because everything sounds sweeter with a country accent. Breaking news. America's discovered racism still exists in the 21st century. Breaking news. Hitler's movement never ended. Breaking news. Confederates are still trying to gentrify us from the country we built for them, the country we bled for them, the country we bit back and broke bones to make them feel bigger. Breaking news. KKK is in your city. It ain't fake news. KKK is in your city, in your schools, teaching your children, lynching Black and brown bodies, one prison pipeline at a time. Black and brown bodies been singing hymns for too long, been praying for deliverance, been bent down and repenting, been blindly Bible hugging so long our fingers have contorted around leather as brown as Jesus' body. My pockets been seeking reparations that look like pistols my ancestors and get bodied over this. Me in my city, in my South, we're told not to fight. Smile and die, dance and die, play ball and tie, don't fight. They tell us that our fists would get tired and that our voices would only die out at the march when shit gets too real. We learn to Van Gogh catastrophe. You only taught how to survive, every apology a coping mechanism, because we never understood how we could have been so wrong. When my screams injustice, why couldn't they hear my skin screaming for stillness, for peace, for crawfish feasts and Sunday dinners, for simpler times, like when the whole country didn't scream in silence, when the world didn't take our pain and make new segments of our demons. We Southern liberals got tired of fighting the minute the news broadcaster picked up our script. Thank you, guys. So, next on the mic, we have Brandon, and on deck we have Jalil. Y'all give it up for Brandon. Go ahead and take your camera on so we can hear you.
Hi, everyone. I am from Trinidad and Tobago. Yeah, so I'm performing a poem for you all tonight. Hope you all enjoy. When I was roughly around 5, I remember the look of my mother's smile as she was led away to paradise. It was a Friday night, cool summer breeze, and my brother and I just came back from the feed. Our mother's eyes was filled with surprise as the commander told her that it was her time to be free, be relieved from every burden ever bared, and all the time she conceived a place of peace, pain-free with all her relatives. Some say the very sight of it is what they imagine heaven is freedom. Like a light and gentle breeze. Beyond this barn and through the fields, it's a breathtaking scene which to some seems unrealistic for a moment. But we hold on to hope, awaiting that very moment when we are free, a release from these fences where we keep our dreams hidden until that time, a promised future if we just kept in line so we conform. Our very existence cursed long before we were born, before we could talk. we learn what not to say. And if we ever offended the commander, mother said that we would have been sent away to a place of danger, cramped with strangers, where we entered as solids and departed by vapor, a place of toxins and darkness, suffocation and despair. They say we're cleansed of our impurities once we enter into their slaughter chambers. But mother, I have been on my best behavior. So after 500 pounds and 7 years later, I finally get to see her face. It was a Friday night. Cool summer breeze. I came back from the last time that I'd ever have to feed. I saw the commander. He made his way across to me. He said my mother's on the other side of the barn waiting just for me. I was excited, elated. For the entire night I celebrated, snuck into a pen, got some paper and carved all the experiences I'd relate to her for all the times that she missed, like hidden birthday parties or my first secret kiss. Listen, I just miss her. Today is the day that I finally get to be with her. So before I go, I wished my family goodbye, got tightly packed onto a truck. I was prepared for paradise, and on my way there, beyond the barn and through the fields of green, I see it in the distance, a structure that I have never seen. And as we drew closer, the air became so thick I couldn't breathe. I called out to the commander, master, I lost my vision. I cannot see. What is this place? Where is my mother? What about the promise you made to me? The more I spoke, I began to stutter. My windpipe shut, closed in on me, let go of me. These flashes of my life, they all made sense to me. The reason you fed me and filled me up is just so that you can cut into me. My concentration cramped in this camp that is filled with lies. Master, you made promises to these pigs of a paradise, but it is filled with knives, and I'm on my last breath now. I take a long look at this room. Tears stream down my cheek as I wonder what my mother must have been through.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brandon, so much. So, in 2019, I lost my coach, Rachel Mivey, right? And like something he will always say to us is like, why be like something when you can be something, right? Which I took to heart, right? Why be like a superhero when you can be a superhero? You know what I mean? Why make it taste like cake when it could just be cake? Just cake is the answer. Just in case you didn't know, cake is the answer. So I ended up writing this. I am too much like my family. Like my father, anger, misplaced and misinterpreted. My mother, timid in all the wrong situations. Like my sister, anxious, moving, and headstrong. I am like my brother, dancing around the glass, poking from under the carpet. Like my sister, like my cousin, sad, trying, pushing forward, always to end up back home. I am too much like my family. Wallowing shallow, pretty imposed, my mother says I am like punishments for all my father's past mistakes. Reckless, untamed, and uncharted, we are too much like each other in a like attraction. Will always repel, she often says. My family drinks like fish. I told her fish. Just call it breathing. She wonders why we smoke like steam trains with trains. Just call it running, call it moving, call it making it day by day. I am like the untold stories ingrained into my cranium, only as worse as we can imagine them. Perception tells more than the truth. My grandmother says I am like my mother in the face. I seem to be losing more of that these days, like I am my niece in the face. I pray the child never leaves the both of us. I am like the things that scares me the most. And my mother, my father, my sister, my brother does most of praying for me than all of them. So close to the genocide, he is the only hope of our lineage. Remembering who we are and my family is like a smile for so hard you believe it. My family is a smile for so hard they believe it. It's hard to talk about your ugly in between your grins. My mother says likes can hide a multitude of sins in my family. Has always made sure to look good under the spotlight. I am like a collage of all my family's favorite secrets. Infamous or honorary, I am a hodgepodge of all the unsaid. My suicide attempt, my brother's anxiety, my father's first marriage, arguments between my parents and history, buried in my uncle's throats, my aunt's whereabouts, my mother's origin, the feeling. Every time my sister left the house, the stories of women being molested in my family, the stories of how we all die in this family. The older you learn, the older you get, you learn. Addicts die from heart attacks, and that's why the men in our family don't live to see their children. Pneumonia is another word for AIDS, so we poured the blood of the lamb over our firstborn and left the rest to perish. I am an explosion, messy, uncontrollable in destruction, and not sure how to deactivate generational bombs. I am the untold stories ingrained in my cranium, only as worse as we can imagine them. Perception tells more than the truth. My grandmother says to me when she loses my trust, I seem to be losing more at that these days. I pray the child never leaves the both of us. I pray that I don't spark centuries of mistakes I am not aware of. I can see it all in their faces. I am the things that scares them the most. All the parts we hate about ourselves and all the parts we love the most about each other. A mosaic mountain of memories we try to keep from the sunlight. A porcelain statue broken and framed. A second generation American who knows not where they came from. I am too much my family. So, next on our mic, we have Elijah. And that is our very last, this will be our very last poet for the night. So, y'all, go ahead and give it up for Elijah. Go crazy in the comments.
All right. We meet again. Don't look at my crazy hair right now. All right. I was stuck in between two poems I wanted to read y'all, so I guess I'll give y'all a choice. Something more personal to me, something that really resonates well with the crowd, I guess, or something that involves Black History Month, even though that's been long past. Which one would y'all want to hear? If it's okay for me to ask y'all this question. Well, okay, I guess let me give y'all titles. The first one I'll talk about was called "Who Are You?" And the second one,
Make it black.
Make It Black. Okay. All right. And the second one, well, the one I guess I'm going to read to y'all now is called "We Are Dreams." We are dreams. Dreams only those my complexion can grasp, but specks my complexity. For we are dreams that all of our predecessors had at night, waiting wantonly for some change. We are dreams that every Black boy and girl had hoped for when they grew up living in that soft white cage. For we are dreams that no cotton or common white man can say to us we don't have dreams, when our dreams are so vivid that even the colorblind can't deny that even the shackles are breaking. We are dreams for those that can't have any because some people just hate to see another color make it. Well, that didn't stop us, for we took action of our own hands, and freedom's what we got. We planted the seeds of our future, and this is what it wrought. We fought for our sons and daughters to live life worth living, and now we have it. For we are dreams that all of my people worked hard for day and night, slaving over commodity, whipped for their honesty, and stripped of their dreams. We are dreams, very manifestation of their cracked hands, bloody back, and collard greens. We are dreams Dr. Martin Luther King would have. We are dreams. That's it.
Oh, right, y'all. So that was Elijah. Give it up for Elijah. Go crazy in the comments. Show them all the love. And I lied. We do have one more poet. So our very, 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 very last poet. I swear this time this is the last poet. Give it up for Jelani. Go crazy in the comments.
Trigger warning. This poem is about the Holocaust. Papa got taken away, overbearingly screaming and fighting, inciting the others to act out the same. Extinguished with a spark, our bodies desecrated like synagogues. Each hand was a sledgehammer, fists of Satan, heads of angels. Bullets were given wings. Fire versus the choir, a middle ground was found through our rape. Worn until our veils changed hues, shattered windows stabbed the streets. Blood watered seeds of contempt. We cursed God, then prayed for help. I guess he was mad. Mama balanced her sorrow and her love for me. A tipping point, the demons won. I saw a silhouette in a shard of glass. My friend got taken away. The others devoted the gaze. I did the same. We cursed the gods, then prayed that it wouldn't be us. Towns got smaller and quieter. You could hear a bullet drop. Some cried and washed their hands in blood. We cried and washed our hands with mud. I cried, a flood washed over my hands. Thinking of friends that slipped through my fingers, I cursed myself for being so weak. Then I thanked God that it wasn't me. Cracks in the pavement emerged from smashed mirrors. Seeing my fractured frame, I became an afterimage. The imagery of the aftermath didn't exist if I wasn't real. Day after day, I was a ghost, invisible, feeling more and more get taken away like sheep. Counting sheep, I stayed awake, the shadows smothering my hands. Am I a product built to be consumed by these camps? Remembering Mama, I needed a reason to live. I asked my aunt if I had worth. She said, your life is reflected in broken glass. I'm getting taken away, my head hanging low, humbly walking. The others are doing the same. Nobody's cursing. I'm praying that this is just a nightmare or a ruse so that God will save me. I guess he's still mad. Clad in chains, losing myself in a flock of martyrs. What's special about my life? We all look the same. We all go to the same destination. The egos breaking like the windows of our stores, our buildings, our synagogues, our home. Reflected in these shards is me. A me from Warsaw, a me from Lowe's, a me from Minsk, a me from everywhere going to nowhere. And what can I do about it? A life reflected in broken glass is as tangible as a sunset, as everlasting as a bubble floating in the air. It's too far to grasp and too frail to grip. And so it's only to be fleetingly savored. That's it.
Thank you, Jelani, so much. Carl, we have one person who wants to spit a little something. Give up, y'all, for the executive director of Young DFW Writers, Sandrella.
So for the record, I didn't know I was spitting. I got tricked into this. Let's be clear. I just wanted to say thank you to Youth Speaks for this space for students to be able to activate their voices. We at Young DFW Writers and Dallas Youth Poets find it to be an honor when we have a chance to be able to be in this space where we know that there are youth that truly do know what they're talking about, as well as use their emotions and use their bodies and their performance in order to do whatever it is that they need to do. Now, since Gabby said I was supposed to prepare a poem, I guess I did. So I'm going to go ahead and read it. She owed me for this, though. She don't know that. She'll find out later. All right. A sestina for users. An empty bank account gives nothing. It just owes. It is used for automatic withdrawal. It can only borrow. It never knows who. What is the thing that's always constant? Constantly making trips to banks, nothing can accrue interest or value. Arms and mouths owe infinitely, bleeding from emotional and mental withdrawals. The borrow limit increase waits on your command. You have no one who will be the co-signer of your new debt. Withdrawn from me like a loan shark, constantly forgetting to repay what I never had. Borrowing my time and my power leaves me nothing to invest into me. Still, I may owe what I never had. I owe just because of who subtracted from me. No worry for me for who is your next investor, your next withdrawal, or your next victim. Give my love, my faith, and my joy back what you owe me. No more constant usurping for personal preference. Nothing I have in blood, plasma, or organs is left for you to borrow. If I could tell your next borrower anything who is unprepared for the hell coming their way, I would warn them that nothing will save them. Nothing prepares them for the magnum-sized withdrawals they will constantly attempt to recover from, as they now owe others for what you have done. Cut me a check for what you owe. No installment extensions for what you borrowed. Your constant has always been, you are who has leached onto me for years. Your withdrawal left me lethargic and yearning for something from nothing I have. I no longer invest in anyone who cannot pay what they owe. Withdrawals and borrowing are now at an end, thanks to your constant giving of nothing to me. Thank you, guys. Woo!
Woo! Thank you so much. Y'all, this has been an amazing open mic list. Thank you so much for letting me be your host. And last but not least, our 5 words. So, our words were vegetarian, demonstration, lark, pet record, and indubitably. You have to get. Okay. Sorry. I can't do anything. Okay. Are you ready? In no particular order. I think I heard a word called my name the other day. No, really. I could swear it was singing at me a song, demonstrating the window, my ears been feasted on its tune, telling me the secrets I ain't known about myself. So I've been listening real close, or against the floor, because it's something about me I'm missing. And my mama don't want to tell, and she don't, because I heard it. Well, straight from the horse's mouth, the memories keep trying to tell me the truth in my dreams. I can never recollect the dreams the day before. The images from the night before. I wish the Sagittarius I am would bow with an arrow that burns, singing that damn song, drinking on a pet record morning. I did some secrets they drowned him that time before. And they drowned me indubitably. That's why I feel something's missing. Like a vacation you don't remember taking, a baby you don't remember baking, amnesia in the trauma. Boom.
You even made that sound good. You're
so sweet. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. I would like to thank you, Speaks, for giving us this space and all of the great whatnots, and all of the Youth Speak sponsors who made all of this possible. I would also like to thank Young DFW Writers, Chandrella, and myself. Thank you, Gabby. You were amazing. So, once again, thank you all for coming out. We could not have made this possible without you guys. Thank you to all the youth that blessed this camera with their voices and with their faces and whatnot. And like I said, lastly, thank you to the audience because we just didn't poems to the walls if it wasn't for you.
Thank you so much, Gabby. Everybody put snaps, put some exclamation points, put all the love in the chat for our wonderful host tonight. And also put some love in the chat for yourselves, y'all. Whether this was your first time performing at an open mic or if you are a veteran of this and you've been doing this for years and years, honestly, it was great to hear everything, everybody. So thank you so much, y'all, for bringing out all the amazing energy and the amazing writing and for just like creating this amazing space with each other. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. I feel like I'm fed. And if you heard something tonight that fed you, then I hope you can take that energy to your community, right? Share it with somebody. Tell them what you got today and how you were fed today. And we also want to encourage y'all to come back out tomorrow. This is just the beginning. Like this is the opening open mic for this entire weekend that we have of events. So Saturday, tomorrow at 10 a.m., y'all, we're going to have our National Youth Town Halls. Come learn about how to be intersectional in your poems. Come learn about patience and passion. Come learn about what life is after poetry festivals. And then we're also going to have an Afrofuturism workshop happening at 12 p.m. tomorrow, followed by our Best of B&B showcase, and then our MCO showcase. So for those of you who are writing bars and sharing the rhyme scheme poems, come through and hear some rap tomorrow. So yeah, thank you so much. We appreciate you and we hope to see y'all tomorrow. This has been a You Speaks production because the next generation is speaking for itself, y'all. We hope you have a wonderful night.